So President Trump just earlier this afternoon met with El Salvadoran President Nayib Bukele at the White House, and they just
we're huge fans.
Yeah, he's great. They discussed kind of a whole plethora of things. I'm sure at the top of the conversation was, of course, all of the illegals that they are now housing for us in this supermax prison. So they had that going on. They have this latest Supreme Court decision on one in particular of those illegals, Kilmar Abrego Garcia, who the Supreme Court said that the U.S. we need to make a strong effort to have that MS-13 gang member return to American soil because he just so happens to be a father. And it's like, wow, I'm shocked. He must be the only gang member ever who may be irresponsibly going around impregnating women. I don't know. Maybe he's a father of like 10 kids with 10 different baby mamas. That would be crazy when we're talking about a gang member. Or raping. And so it's just been, I think they talked about our border. And so watching both presidents not just address each other, but address the mainstream media was really, really something. So I want to let me go through this quote here. He praised President Trump's approach to law enforcement, and he told him, "You have 350 million people to liberate by ending crime and terrorism," which is just freaking epic. And so then you have the fake news White House press corps who they're like, but what about Kilmar Abrego Garcia? He now is deported and he's in El Salvador. And are you going to return him to this country? Because we really want him back. We really like MS-13. They're really fun. Here is his response. Watch.
Can President Bukele weigh in on this? Do you plan to return him?
Well, I'm supposed to have suggested that I smuggle terrorists into the United States, right?
It's always
how can I return him to the United States? Like, I smuggle him into the United States, or what do I do? Of course, I'm not going to do it. It's like, the question is preposterous. How can I smuggle a terrorist into the United States? I don't have the power to return him to the United States.
But you could release him inside El Salvador.
Yeah, but I'm not releasing. We're not very fond of releasing terrorists into our country. We just turned the murder capital of the world into the safest country of the Western Hemisphere, and you want us to go back into releasing criminals so we can go back to being the murder capital of the world? No, that's not going to happen.
They'd love to have a criminal, released into our country.
There's a fascination.
They would love it.
Yeah.
They're sick. These are sick people.
Right. Where's the lie? There's more on that. I want to play President Trump's clash with Can we agree Kaitlan Collins is the worst?
Oh,
she's just the worst. Here was, I would say she was put in her place. Here, watch.
Well, Mr. President, you said that if the Supreme Court said someone needed to be returned, that you would abide by that. You said that on Air Force One just a few days ago, and they said that it must be facilitated.
Why don't you just say, isn't it wonderful that we're keeping criminals out of our country? Why can't you just say that? Why do you go over and over? And that's why nobody watches you anymore. You have no credibility. Please go ahead.
You look at Bukele there, you can tell he's smiling, he's smirking, he likes the interaction, he kind of wants to get in on it himself. And he kind of does at another point talking about why is the media not reporting your amazing wins at the border with all the border crossings down? Watch.
What they've done to us at the border should never and can never be forgotten. It's a sin what they did. And you are helping us out. And we appreciate it. Thanks.
Thank you. Actually, what you're doing with the border is remarkable. It has dropped, 95%? It's incredible.
As of this morning, 99%, 99.1% to be exact.
Why are those numbers not in the media?
Well, they get out with the fake news, like CNN. CNN over here doesn't want to put them out because they don't like putting out good numbers. They only like putting out because I think they hate our country, actually.
Show me the lie.
CNN after this went on to clarify. They said CNN obviously doesn't hate our country. But that's all they said. They didn't say, "Oh, we love America" or anything. They just said CNN obviously doesn't hate our country. I don't know. I'm pretty convinced that you guys do, actually, judging by everything I've seen out of them. We are huge fans of Bukele. Bukele is this wonderful politician from El Salvador who shatters all of these leftist narratives that crime and decay and filth are inevitable and that we have to live with our cities just as these crime-ridden hellholes full of drugs and gangbangers and illegal immigrants and terrorists. No. What Bukele did was he went in and arrested every criminal, every known criminal, all the gangs in El Salvador, put them in maximum security prisons, and boom, his country is now safe. How did this happen?
I didn't see that.
How did this happen? Oh, you mean you can just lock up criminals and make your country safe and have normal law-abiding citizens enjoying their cities and their normal regular commutes to work and not have to worry about being raped or murdered? You mean that's possible? Because the Democrats would like you to feel, they want you so demoralized. They want you to feel that you cannot change these things, that you have to live with your entire country in a state of decay. You have to let criminals run rampant. You have to let criminals out of jail immediately. You have to have these Soros DAs that are weak on crime. No, if you're hard on crime, you can turn the most dangerous place in the world to the safest place on earth. And all you have to do is lock up criminals.
If you like this clip and you want to see the full episode, click here. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, come on, you know you do. Click here.